What's up, everybody? My name is Chris Branham, and welcome to another session of Strategies for Creatives. Today, we are talking about trimming the creative fat. Let's get into it. All right, so you guys know I like to start with a definition, so we are all on the same page. Let's start with the definition for trim. To make something neat or of the required size or from by cutting away the regular or unwanted parts. We are talking about getting away from what is unnecessary. So this might sound a little confusing for some when you're thinking about creativity and just wanting to do as much as you can and get as many ideas outside as possible. I'm not talking about brainstorming. I am talking about once you know what you want to do, what do you do next? When you have that idea, when you have that concept, this is where you start getting away and getting rid of everything else that is unnecessary. You want to make sure you are focused. So when we are trimming the fat, or like if you're working out or you're, trying to figure out what's necessary as far as, financial goals, etc., you want to start cutting away things that don't matter anymore, things that are not going to help perpetuate the purpose and the direction you want to go in. So when you figure out what your creativity is, this is where you start cutting things away. Now, what does that look like? It's going to be a ton of focus, and it's going to be everything that is a distraction you have to remove, because if you're not focused, you will have a subpar result based on what you're trying to be creative in. So if you are looking to be creative at your maximum capacity, no matter what you desire to do, you gotta take away all of the distractions. That is going to be the main thing. Remove distractions. If you heard nothing else from this video, remove distractions. So when we talk about tailoring your creativity, I'm talking about honing in on what that item is in your creative gifting or talent. So you might be a multifaceted, talented individual and you have multiple things, but depending on what you're doing, some of those other talents might not even be valuable or necessary in the moment that you're in. So you have to understand, will they be needed? I struggle with this a ton because I am very multifaceted. I like to draw, paint. I like to, create videos. I also like to help people edit, structure, development, business planning, all sorts of things, right? And they all have different tools and necessities at certain times. But what I don't want to do is bring something in that's unnecessary to a product. That's going to be a waste of time, a waste of energy, and a waste of effort. And I can't be my maximum in that moment. I will be subpar or be a very limited amount of me in whatever I'm doing. So this is where you find out what's the dead weight. What is necessary in the process? What do you need to do now? Or is there certain moments or phases that you bring in talents and then you expedite those quickly and then you get rid of the other ones? That's totally up to you, but you have to figure out what is the primary talent or gift that you need to introduce, what are the secondary gifts that you might need to introduce, and how do they function and maneuver and connect with whatever you're doing as far as a product or a service. If they don't connect, they're probably not needed. If they are early in the phase, use them and then remove them so you can focus on what's necessary. This is all about prioritization. How do you prioritize your time? How do you prioritize your gifting? And how do you maximize on what's necessary? Because if you do not maximize, you will find yourself kind of fluttering around and figuring out, do I need to do this? Do I not need to do this? And you're not paying attention to your list. What is the primary list? What is the objective that you come in and want to attach your talents and gifts to? If you do not have that, you are dead in the water and you are wasting time, and more than likely you are just doing busy work. This is where you start getting focused about what's necessary, prioritizing your gifts, talents, and abilities. So you want to make sure you prioritize your time, prioritize what's necessary, prioritize your talents and your gifts within that item or that itemized list, and then you want to make sure you produce results. So this is why you have to trim the fat. Dead weight will always have you lethargic and moving in a very slow pace because you're adding things that don't matter. This is no different from pulling along extra people that don't need to be there when it comes to a project or a service, or adding things into a vehicle and now you're just adding weight to the vehicle and you're not as fast and as lean as you need to be. So you can take any scenario, any type of experience that you might have gone through, and you're just adding things along just to add things. This is where you do not want that to happen from a creative perspective. And it doesn't matter what type of creativity you might be using, it can be applied to any situation or any scenario. Don't waste time with adding things that don't matter. And at the end of the day, this has to deal with influence. So if you can't produce and you can't maximize and prioritize what's good for you to do as far as a creative proponent and component, then what will happen is you can't be as influential in any project. You will probably be considered somebody that is not focused in the project. And you don't want that, because now you can't maximize your giftings and abilities and start thinking about how you can be influential. And this actually speaks to another video that I made about being a commodity with your creativity. So you want to check out that link and see how that's related, because again, you want to maximize where you are, but you got to trim the fat so you can be very, very influential once projects are completed. Hope that helps somebody. Like, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. I look forward to see you in the comments, and check out the next video. Peace.